What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, I want to discuss the news that John Cena says he is not the villain of Fast 9. Now, this is part of our Fast and Furious coverage. We do this, or we're going to be doing this quite often on the channel. So if you guys like Fast and Furious, please consider subscribing to the channel. We're going to be talking a lot about Fast and Furious leading up to the movie, and also once Fast 9 is done, leading into Fast 10. Tons of Fast and Furious content. We've already talked about Han returning. I'm assuming some of you guys have seen that video first before you came here, but we've done that as well. So let's talk about what John Cena said and what this could mean, because I honestly feel like it's got two different meanings, so we're going to discuss this. So here's what he said. When asked about the whole, he's the villain, right? Because the trailer, obviously, he's Jacob, Vin Diesel's brother. Seems to be contracted to Cypher in some way, right? She got to him. But he was asked about the whole villainy thing, and he said, we'll leave it for the audience. We'll leave it for the Fast family around the world to decide who's good and who's bad. And then he also said, keep in mind the trailer shows just enough for you to have a ton of questions and me not to be able to answer any of them. Vin Diesel also said, he said fair, calling his comments fair. You're going to have to decide, like all the characters in the saga, they are multi-dimensional and there are no cookie cutter characters. They all have layers, as we've seen, but we're so excited about this. Okay, so Vin Diesel's thing, honestly, I feel like does add a lot to this, but John Cena's simple statement of, he's not the villain. Like, you have to look at it, you could look at it a different way. Here's the first base way you could look at it, is villains oftentimes think themselves as their own protagonists, right? They're the good guy. So a villain is really, to themselves, a good guy, and the good guy is actually the bad guy. Oftentimes, villains, especially in the modern age of movies, where villains are very, very good, by the way, villains are kind of just slight twists on the heroes, right? They just see things slightly different than the hero. Now, I get it, like, he's kind of tasked with killing Vin Diesel in this movie, right? So I understand that. But in general, villains are, you can kind of sympathize with them. You can see why they would go down the path that they've gone down. So what am I saying? Well, that is honestly the first way, and I honestly feel like the way most people would look at that statement, that, you calling him a villain, well, he could be a hero to himself. He maybe thinks of himself as a good guy. Honestly, though, that's kind of how you could say it with any villain, right? Thanos is a good guy if you look at him the right way. Well, here's how I honestly think of this. This is Fast and Furious, and we know for Fast and Furious movies, normally bad guys become good guys. Not every time, but generally, especially more recently, bad guys turn out to be good guys, right? They end up helping the gang. And I honestly feel that John Cena's character, Jacob, is 1,000% in that boat, okay? Now, Cypher, I'm unsure of. Cypher, I really don't know if they would convert to being good, and maybe that mystery voice that we heard in Hobbs and Shaw, maybe that is Kurt Russell's character, or him in general, whoever is that guy. He could be the villain of Fast 10. Maybe him and Cypher could be the villain of Fast 10. But here's, honestly, for Fast 9, John Cena, I think, will end the movie being a good guy, okay? It is about family. Obviously, Fast and Furious has always been about family. And even Justin Lin talked about, that this movie is going to be taking that and changing how we kind of perceive that and really adding more layers to it. Because, this is a situation where, he is family. We've talked about how important family is to all of these characters, especially Vin Diesel's character. So much about him as a person is about his family, right? And now, literally, his blood brother is out to eliminate him, right? So that is a really tough thing to do. So here, I guess the point of this is to say, I believe John Cena. I believe that he's not the villain of this movie. Again, not even just from the whole, villains can be good if you look at them a certain way. I honestly feel like he is going to be bad. He's going to try and take out Vin Diesel in the group. I get that. But at some point, I feel like he's going to join the good guys. Okay, we talked about in the Han video how I think they're kind of assembling them, kind of like the Avengers, where they'll bring back Brian. They already brought back Mia for this one. I think that, obviously bring back Hobbs and Shaw. So they're going to bring back all these characters. I think Giselle, Gal Gadot's character, I think they're going to bring her back too. So you have all these characters, and then to add John Cena onto it, to kind of grow the family and grow what this movie franchise means, I think is definitely what they're going to go for. Again, Cypher, little less sure about. Cypher, she could still possibly stay bad. She doesn't have to. I think after 8, I think a lot of people, including myself, kind of assumed 9 would be when she would turn good, that they would eventually get her to turn good. Adding basically a secondary villain in John Cena, I feel like maybe that stops her, right? Because if it's just Cypher versus the gang, I think Cypher probably, I mean, either she's gone by the end of it, and you could fill in the blanks of what I mean there, or she would become good. I think that's honestly the only thing that that's actually the only thing they could have done. But now adding another villain underneath her, somebody who clearly, she's gotten inside his head, right? She's telling him all the things he wants to hear. She's got a plan, all this kind of stuff. Now that they've done that, I feel, and because they've tied his character in with Vin Diesel's character, I feel like now we've entered now we're going to try and just redeem Jacob, and then the next movie, if Cypher eventually turns good, maybe it would be Fast 10, So I think I honestly feel like that's how people should be reading into it. I do believe John Cena. I think he isn't going to be, by the end of this movie, he is not going to be the bad guy. He will join the good guys. It could just become a big focus of the movie, maybe like halfway through, where it's like, hey, let's just bring him back. Let's make this family whole again, and let's bring him into it. That could become one of the main plot devices for the entire movie. But guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Do you think John Cena is going to be the main villain? Do you think maybe he'll be the villain into Fast 10? Let me know in the comments below. We're going to, again, like I said in the beginning of this video, we're going to be talking a lot about Fast 9 or F9 leading into the movie's release. We got a ton of videos planned for you guys. We're going to be talking about it weekly. Anything new that comes out about it, we'll be discussing. So if you guys are into Fast and Furious, we're your channel. We're going to be covering it quite a bit. Fast 10 as well next year. So we got tons of Fast and Furious content coming to you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you have that bell icon rung so you know when these Fast videos come out. Again, thank you all so much for watching. You guys truly, truly rock. And I'll see you on the next video.